The January transfer window has wound up for most leagues in Europe except a few like the Turkish league, which means that most teams now know what they're going to be working with until June. But which of these teams, which one of them were the biggest spenders? Welcome to Money Talks, brought to you by Life Scorbet. I am Anishilowo, Jimmy Anishilowo, and I'm here as usual with our favorite analyst, Ayola.
Hi, Jimmy.
So, Ayola, can you give us a breakdown of how the January transfer window went?
Well, it was a bit quiet considering the fact that it's not the way the summer transfer window was, where almost all the teams wanted to do some business. But despite it being quiet, Manchester City, of course, were the biggest spenders, spending over £180 million to bring in 4 players, including, or rather 5 players, including one more on the transfer deadline day.
I still collect 5 more from Arsenal. But go on.
Well, some of the players did not play already, so we can understand.
You saw it against Chelsea. Carry on.
So we can understand that maybe they haven't really gelled together yet. But yeah, Manchester City were the main focus of the January transfer window, bringing in Omar Mamouche, as well as on the final day, Nico Gonzalez from Porto with a sidekick to Barcelona.
All right, so you've given us for the club. Now, what about the leagues? Which of the leagues spent the most?
Well, given the fact that Manchester City spent so much on the players that they got in January, they really helped the Premier League. They spent almost as much as the other 19 teams in the league, and
Wow.
The Premier League was the most active league in the January transfer window, followed by the Serie A and then the Saudi Pro League, believe it or not. And interestingly, La Liga was down in 16th as they spent only 26 million euros across 20 teams, with Real Betis spending exactly half of that, 30 million euros. So it wasn't really a very active time for La Liga clubs, even though there were some deals. Most of them were loans and things like that.
All right, so we've talked about the club, we've talked about the leagues. Now let's go down to the players. What were the biggest deals?
Well, interestingly, Manchester City, of course, expectedly had 2 deals in the top 5 with Omar Mamouche's 17 million euros, the second most in the entire window. At number 5 was Xavi Simons to RB Leipzig, making the move permanent for 15 million euros. He also had Nico Gonzalez coming just above him at number 4, and at number 1 was, interestingly, John Duran going to Al Nassr from Aston Villa,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, it could have been
Boniface.
Victor Boniface, but they chose to go with the
Are
Aston
we
Villa
sure
man
we are
instead.
allowed to talk about Boniface here before he comes for us again?
I want to believe so.
Well, let's hope we are safe. All right, now, so based on conjecture, and let's just do a little hypothesis here. Which one of these players do you think are going to make it in their new clubs? Like, which of these deals do you think are going to pan out in the long run?
Well, first of all, I think John Duran is going to a league where, I mean, someone who was already starting to terrorize the Premier League going to a much weaker league in the Saudi Pro League. I mean, they have beef with the MLS and Ligue 1, so they know that the Premier League is definitely stronger than the Saudi Pro League. And John Duran is definitely going to make an impact there. I think Omar Mamouche as well is going to be very important for Manchester City. I think he's also going to do important things in the Premier League. Of course, Xavi Simons also as well for RB Leipzig. There's a reason why they pay the club record transfer fee for him, and I think these 3 players are going to be very important for their clubs moving forward.
All right, so we've heard from our analyst. He's tipping John Duran, Xavi Simons, and Omar Mamouche to be very important for their clubs and to make an impact. What about you guys? Which players do you think among all these January transfer signings are going to be the ones to do things, to move things at their new clubs? Let us know what you think in the comments. I am Anishilowo, Jimmy Anishilowo, and this is Money Talks brought to you by Life Scorbet.